All right, guys, we're live. We're good to go here. Obviously, we're streaming on this channel, not on Tyson's channel, so we don't get the crazy intro with all the Jets legends and the music. We just jump right into it. Tyson, what's going on, man? How you doing?
See, I had to use all the bells and whistles on my channel to try to bring in viewers. You already had the established community. I have to give like smoke and mirrors and stuff. You know what I mean?
No, dude, bro, I love your intro. It gets me fired up. You coming off a loss, whatever. Like just hearing the music,
right.
it's sick. It's sick. And also too, I like how it's not just all current players. You know, Garrett and Olu and stuff. It's a flashback. You see Namath, you see the Monday Night Miracle stuff. It's sick.
Well, you know why we have to do that is because all the current players keep getting traded. So we got to kind of weed those out and just go back to the old reliables at this point. You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Same story when it comes to actually buying jerseys too. It's just like if they're a current player, just might as well just stay away and go pick up like a Revis or a Curtis Martin or something like that.
100%.
Man. So Jets are coming off a loss Thursday night against the New England Patriots. We're going to dive into it. We got the Baltimore Ravens this upcoming Sunday. We have a quarterback change, a lot to dive into here. I'm sure we're going to probably talk about, some of the future, quarterback options as well. That'll honestly probably be a constant with this show for it really until it gets resolved. But what was kind of, some of your main takeaways from that Patriots game?
Really, really frustrating, dude, because it seemed like the Jets or the Patriots are playing down to the Jets level and they couldn't capitalize on it. There were so many opportunities left on the field between drop passes, penalties, bad throws, all these different things. And the game was not say there to be had, but it could have been a lot closer in the fourth quarter than it actually was. And it was frustrating because they kind of self-destructed. And you started to see some of the warts of the team. Like we always talk about the last couple of weeks where it's like winning's a great deodorant, right? Like, oh, you win, you could ignore Brownlee's penalties. You lose, you're not going to ignore them anymore. Like it kind of changes as a result of the game change. Kind of frustrating. I hate losing to the Patriots, but it wasn't the blowout that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like 45-10, dude, an absolute thrashing. You didn't see that, which is a positive. The team is fighting. They're undermanned. The players playing out of position, a lot of injuries. So you kind of feel like the Jets are falling into that place of irrelevancy now. Like we're starting to care a little bit less because we know the season's pretty much over. They changed the quarterback. The coach isn't going anywhere. So you're kind of resigned to the fact this is what they are. And that's kind of it, right? I'm coming more numb now, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, definitely after the trade deadline, right? Quinnen, Gardner, Michael Carter, and we're bringing back draft picks and young players. To me, it just kind of, I don't want to say, the focus isn't on winning because the focus is always going to be on winning. Yeah. But for me, I think, really development just shot way up on the, board of importance, if you will, right? I'm way more concerned with getting the younger players snaps, right? As opposed to rolling out the same old. If you want to sit there and like if you're Tanner Inkstrand and you say, okay, well, Josh Reynolds gives us the better chance to win at wide receiver compared to John Mechie or A.D. Mitchell or something like that, I don't care. I'm rolling with the young guys, right? I'm going to allow them to gain experience, gain reps, gain some more practice or stuff to put on tape to go over throughout the week. Because again, my focus with this team at this point in the season, it's all about development. Who's sticking around for next season? Who are guys that we feel like we can build around? Who are the guys that we think, for example, if Mitchell is dropping passes from here on out and he has, another 8-9 drops from here into the end of the season, you probably are looking at wide receiver pretty damn heavily. But if he bounces back nicely and is making play after play, maybe he has some great statistical games or something, nothing crazy, but, say he racks up, 500 receiving yards in the rest of the season, 600 receiving yards or something. It's just like, whoa. Hold on a second. Maybe we don't necessarily need to hit free agency walking around with like a bag of cash wondering who, we should pay. Yep. It's like maybe that guy's in house. So
but that's all contingent on getting quality quarterback play. And that's kind of where I'm with you, dude. Like I'm don't the Allen Lazards, the Tyler Johnsons, all these guys that aren't going to be here next year. I don't need to play the rest of the year. Like I genuinely don't. I'm with you, dude. Let Aaron Smith play, Mechie. You want to bring up Skinner and Pritchett, bring up all the young guys. But the most important thing is having a quarterback that can deal the ball consistently all across the field and just make the basic throws. He doesn't need to be Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes, but complete the screen pass, have a decent play action pass, throw it a 10-yard out, 10-yard screw pass, be able to do that so you can actually see what these players can do. And that was my frustration with Justin Fields, where you weren't running an NFL offense. So now with Tyrod in the mix, maybe you can see these kids can actually do, and the auditions for all of them, and furthermore, you can see what Engstrand is too. Because we generally know what Engstrand is, because you feel like Engstrand's kind of handcuffed right now with Fields. Like, you can't do this, can't do that. He's scared to throw the ball. You're always in 3rd and long for whatever reason. If you can change it up now, maybe you can see a little bit more of everything, and everybody as a unit can evolve, not just say, Justin Fields. So that's the biggest key for me now, because you look at it, if you want to take a young quarterback next year, whatever it is, as of right now, do you feel comfortable handing that young quarterback to Glenn, Charles London, and Tanner Engstrand?
Right now, probably not. But
the reason you're saying no is because we don't know what Engstrand really is, right? Because we haven't seen an offense that's been productive consistently over 4 or 5 weeks.
That's true. I don't want to make it sound like Tyrod is some, like all of a sudden we are lighting teams up for 300 passing yards per game. But at least Tyrod can put the ball in play. At least he can drop back 3-step, 5-step, 7, 8-step drops, hit the open guy.
Yep,
and that's just something, unfortunately, that we didn't get with Fields. I like Fields the athlete, I like Fields the person, but it's just when it comes to the drop back passing game, and I don't really think Tanner. Yeah, it really felt like Tanner was handcuffed, and it's really interesting because I mean, how many times have we said it on the show? How many times have Jets fans all over have said, "Hey, can we get Fields outside the pocket? Can we roll the pocket to the right, roll the pocket to the left?" Just allow him to really maximize his legs, and it never really happened. And so it kind of makes you ask the question, okay, well, Tanner Engstrand is, calling plays like that in November, still having Fields drop back and pass. We're not seeing development. We're not seeing production there.
Nope.
Why was Fields the guy who was brought in the first place if the offense wasn't truly going to be built around his skill set? And, to be fair, a couple wide receivers pass catchers had some drops, right? Ruckert had a couple, Mitchell had a couple. It wasn't perfect. No Garrett Wilson, but yeah, I don't want to make it sound like, oh, this is all on Fields, and once Fields is gone, everything's going to be amazing. But it's pretty obvious that in the drop back game, Fields is just too inefficient and inconsistent.
But and this is going to come off harsh. I'm probably going to get ripped in the chat, and I'm fine. But if you think about it, where Fields is a reclamation project, if you're going to have a quarterback like that needs a lot of help to get his career back on track and move it, is the best option to give him a first-time coordinator, a first-time quarterback coach, and a first-time O-line coach. Not saying Fields is great, but the setup of the staff, which we questioned when it actually happened, not just now, and maybe Scott Turner's a big blessing in disguise. Not really sure what that was, but it wasn't like they put North Turner or Todd Haley or whoever it is in Fields' pocket. Here you go. This is your veteran guy. It's been there, done that, and has helped mold quarterbacks. Say like a Brian Dable, somebody, a veteran guy. Obviously, he couldn't do it this year, but that guy to get him out of his way. It was all first-time guys trying to figure it out. So when things aren't working, they're trying to learn their job and learn how to adjust to this while he's not playing well. It wasn't the perfect marriage by any means. And then what really pissed me off was when Aaron Glenn talked about, well, we don't want to run him too much. He's not a running back. We don't want him to get hurt. Dude, you said his superpower was running the ball. His athletic ability, his mobility, all of that stuff was the thing. One of his strengths, his assets you want to take advantage of. And now it's no, we don't want to run the ball too much. It's did you even have a plan for Justin Fields? Do you know what the hell you're doing? Because it didn't work. But now you learn on the job, you're figuring it out. I can credit for benching him finally. It should have happened 4 weeks ago. But it just seems like this first-time head coach is going through a lot of issues. You're trying to figure it out that maybe could have been avoided if you had a more experienced staff on offense.
Yeah, and that was one of the big concerns when all these guys were brought in. I think a lot of us were suggesting, just older veteran names, even if it's like a Pete Carmichael, someone who has been around Aaron Glenn, he's been around Sean Payton. He's obviously, he's been Sean Payton's right hand for the longest, right? He's been there for a while. The lack of experience on the offensive side of the football is from the coaching staff. Again, it was a kind of a red flag early on, but now it's all kind of coming to fruition. The hope, I guess, for Jets fans is, are these guys growing as the season goes on? Maybe not week to week, because that's difficult. Like at some point, like if that's the case, if a coaching staff is truly growing from week to week, like theoretically they'd be undefeated in like 3 years, right? They're learning so much. I mean, like look at John Harbaugh, look at the Chiefs record. The Chiefs are 5-5.
Yeah.
Like the Chargers just getting completely humiliated down in Jacksonville. Like good coaches, good teams lose games. It's very, very difficult to be, undefeated up to this point or have one, two losses. So I credit Denver. I credit New England, but again,
you can't have 100 yards passing in a game, dude. You
Right,
can't
right,
have 54 yards passing in 23. Like at some point, like you gotta be like, listen, we can't even get like the NFL standards. What 200 yards? That's like 3 games for us at this point. Like that's where you're like, this is just not working. Whatever we're doing is not working at all.
Yeah, and so to Brian's point here, what do you think? What do you two think about the wide open rate of the Jets in 2025? Feels like Engstrand has good concepts that haven't materialized, in his opinion. So I think whenever you're, wait, first of all, when you look at Engstrand's background, he's been around some good coaches, man. He's been around Glenn. Sorry, not Glenn Campbell,
Really?
Ben Johnson.
Yep.
Jim Harbaugh, those 3 alone. And then if you go back and you look at the his time outside of the NFL, it was either the UFL, XFL, USFL, whichever league it was with the DC Defenders. He was with Pep Hamilton, who's always kind of been known as this quarterback, whisperer and offensive mind. I just don't. For me, the main disconnect where me as a fan, I'm just looking at the situation. I'm saying, what is going on here? If Tanner Engstrand knows what he's doing, he has a system, he wants to run it, and it's pretty obvious that Justin Fields is not a fit for that system, why is Justin Fields continuing to be named the starter? Now, obviously, that's changed this week, and if Taylor goes out there and plays well against Baltimore, and we'll see how the season progresses, assuming he stays healthy, because that's another big if. Yeah. The Broncos game, the Carolina Panthers game, the Cleveland Browns game, the Patriots game, like there's just so many games where Justin Fields has rolled out there and it's just been F-. And again, it's not all on him. He's dealt with some drops and some injuries on the offense, but like it is just very, very difficult to watch. Why? Like, again, you would think common sense would tell you if the OC is saying, hey, he is not a fit for my system. We are obviously not gelling. He's not growing. He's not getting better in the system. I'm not doing a good job of maybe like feeling his game out. I'm not getting him outside the pocket. I just want a drop back. It sounds like, or it feels like, I should say, Tanner Engstrand really, really, really wants a drop back passer who's accurate and who can make quick decisions. Why isn't that? I mean, Justin Fields is kind of like the opposite of that. He takes very long to process and he's very inaccurate.
And who was the first quarterback in free agent they went out and got?
Yeah, it was Fields.
But then, so did not Engstrand and Glenn meet for the entire offseason and be like, all right, our free agent plan is this. What's our scheme? What's this? Or is it let's get all the players we can and then figure out our schemes after the fact? Because this first year is your year to implement your schemes and implement your system. If you can't do it with the quarterback you have, you're basically wasting the year. So you got to reshuffle it next year, which doesn't make any sense to me. And that's my biggest frustration throughout all of this. Is he had a vision for Fields. It didn't work. He's actually playing probably the worst football of his life. And that's saying a lot. So now it's a huge problem. Now I'm to the point, if we're being completely transparent, is I'm glad Tyrod Taylor's playing. I will go a step further in saying Brady Cook is my backup. Justin Fields shouldn't play the rest of the year because we already know what he is. Like it's not about winning games now. It's about evaluating and having a functional offense to see what your offensive line is, what your tight end group is. Can your running backs run the ball, and what kind of wide receivers can you develop? That's what it's all about now. And maybe get Brady Cook some time. So maybe he could be a backup next year, whatever it is. But like to me, Justin Fields should be done here, dude. He should be done this year and next year not even come back. Take the cap hit and move on because it's just not working. And you have to own it as a staff as you made a mistake. You took a shot, you took a risk, you took a gamble. It didn't work in a pretty bad way, unfortunately. But don't keep doubling down, tripling down your mistake. Like, all right, but I mean, would you make Brady Cook the backup? Because I would.
I'm not too sure. I honestly would still use Fields I would use Justin Fields as Taysom Hill, where he comes in 3-4 times a game and just, runs a wildcat play here and there, kind of like Brad Smith back in the day with the Jets and Rex Ryan when they would yank Sanchez out,
Yeah.
or they would even line Sanchez out as like a wide receiver. And you put Brad Smith in there, you can run a reverse with him. Again, wildcat, RPO, quarterback power, tush push, 4th and inches, 3rd and goal on the goal line. I wouldn't completely just, not dress Fields or cut him right now. But you just got to find some more consistency in the passing game. Brady Cook, it just feels like, I feel like right now it's a little too early to go to Cook. And also,
But how much worse can he be than Justin Fields? What does he do? Throw interceptions? At least he's throwing the friggin' football. Like literally, look how bad this offense is with Fields, dude. It's awful. Like, it's unwatchable. It's not competitive. The easy throws have to be a work of art to complete them. If Tanner Engstrand can't put together a basic offense where he can drop back and throw the ball, a quick passing game, whatever else, get the ball in your hands and move the ball around, then that's a problem too. Like, I hate to he can't play yet. He can't. Why not? Quarterbacks all across the NFL find ways to play, but the Jets have this standard. Oh, no, it's too early for him. He can't do it. Let's wait till next year. Why? For what reason? Wait, maybe Cook gets 75 passing yards in the game. That's an improvement. Like, who cares at this point?
Well, I think it's too early because, unfortunately, in Clay, bro, I appreciate you, man. Yeah, can you believe the first video was back in 2016? It's absolutely insane to think about, man. I think me and Tyson were actually joking around about this on the last pod of the one before. We haven't had a winning season in 10 years, bro. It's insane, terrible, man. It's insane. But Clay, I appreciate you, dude.
So tell me why Brady Cook can't play because he's not allowed to yet. I got to hear this.
Well, we were talking about it before. Tyrod Taylor is injury prone. So if Tyrod does, in fact, go out there and gets hurt in the second quarter of the Baltimore game, and Fields is standing there on the sidelines in a shirt and has that headset on, and Brady Cook has to roll in, yeah, it might be okay for a game or two, but in the event that Brady Cook has to close out the season, I don't know if that's really putting the best foot forward. I also think there's kind of an unwritten rule on, with Tyrod Taylor, like, he is a veteran quarterback. He's been around. I mean, he has connections. He's been around the league. He just knows a ton of coaches. I think it'd be a little weird just to go from Justin to stick with Fields for this long and then to leapfrog Tyrod to just go to a UDFA rookie. Nothing against Brady Cook. And, if Tyrod doesn't play well, I would like to see Cook at the end of the season. But, I'm thinking like week 15, week 16, week 17, that range for Brady Cook in the event that he does play. I want to give Taylor at least a shot to go out there and maybe inject some life into the offense, because what happens if you put Brady Cook out there and he is looking similar to Justin Fields, or he can't get on the same page with the wide receivers? We're right back in the same boat of, we can't evaluate Tanner Engstrand. We can't evaluate players.
There's different levels here. I'm with you. I'm all about Tyrod Taylor, dude. Like, I think he's in the best chance to be competitive is Tyrod.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant
no. I'm saying
Tyrod goes straight to Cook.
Tyrod, and then if he goes down, I go to Cook. Justin Fields is out of my equation because I already know what Justin Fields is. Like, I know he can't. Like, you're benching him now because he can't compete. He's not a competent NFL quarterback that can consistently complete passes. So once Tyrod goes down, which it's gonna happen, he gets hurt all the time. I'm giving Brady Cook a chance, dude. Like, and why not? Because he's a drop back quarterback and he can just do little things, but it's worth the shot at this point. If you want to wait till the last 3 weeks of this season to say, hey, okay, we'll play Fields 2 more times, whatever, but that doesn't make any sense to me because he's not the answer. Like, you're getting nothing out of him at this point. And then Brady Cook can get valuable experience and maybe get lightning in a bottle. Maybe he's a competent backup. We don't have, you never know what could happen, but I'd rather go with the unknown rather than known of Fields.
Dude, it would be like classic Jets if Fields has to play again at some point and he throws for like 350 and has like another
he's still not coming back though. It's like, it's just
over. Yeah. Kat, I appreciate you. I'm not a fan of Murray. I think you I don't know if you're talking about Kyler Murray. You're not a fan of Kyler Murray and Ty Simpson. Last game turned me off. Really bad decision making. Mendoza all the way. Fields as the bridge. Maybe. What do you think? So I love Mendoza. I just don't view Fields as a bridge quarterback at this point. I don't know how he would survive, honestly, the rest of this season, then hitting the offseason and then getting to training camp and he's taking the first team reps and he's, just with how the reporters are now, where they're analyzing every line of dialogue at his press conferences and every practice throw, it just feels like Fields is going to be elsewhere next season, and the Jets are going to cut him.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like a bridge quarterback could have been like a Jameis Winston. That's the kind of guy you have where it's like, all right, he's paid very little. He's a veteran guy. He's working out great with Jackson Dart, all that stuff. Like Fields to me was like, that was their starter. That's just not working. So you want to go in a different direction. To me, the Ty Simpson thing is interesting, dude, because go ahead.
Can I just add something real quick to your point? Just before we move off of Fields almost felt like when the Panthers acquired Sam Darnold, and they're like, young guy, first round pick, let's just throw him out there and see, if he could be the option, be the answer moving forward. There's a chance that it does work out. There's a chance that it doesn't. And ultimately it didn't work out for Carolina. And that was not just a 1-year shoot. That was, I think, 2 years with the Carolina Panthers. And they also acquired Baker Mayfield in the mix as well. So they almost doubled down on that approach. But I still don't. Again, before we move off of Fields, I just kind of want to get everything out on the table. I feel like there's this narrative that, oh my God, like Aaron Glenn, he's all in with Justin, and he went all in on this offseason and he paid him so much money. Like, it was always a trial run. It was always, we're moving off from Rodgers. Who's the best who's the best QB who has a potential upside on the market? It's going to be that guy. And if you go back and you look at some of like the free agent ranking lists, Justin Fields was the top quarterback or a top 2 to 3 quarterback on every single list, whereas Daniel Jones and Mac Jones were way down at the bottom. No one considered those guys as franchise guys at that point in time. So, hindsight's always 2020, but we can't pretend that Fields was on his way out of the league and the Jets are just, hey, here's $40 million.
I agree with you to a point, but Aaron Glenn did make some mistakes. He basically anointed Justin Fields as a starter. No competition with Tyrod Taylor in camp, which was kind of weird because Justin Fields didn't really establish anything. And he I don't want to say babied him. He nurtured him and didn't really hold him accountable for a long period of time. They kept like doubling down, like, that's my guy. Like, it was weird how he handled it. When we talked about this a million times, dude, where he wasn't a top 5 pick. He's not a 10-year contract. It's like, it's a flyer taking, and you're so loyal to him and not holding him accountable. And the rest of the team knows he's the problem on offense. Glenn's handling of him was weird. I would have benched him many times throughout the season. Then unfortunately Tyrod got hurt, which sucked. But yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they didn't handle him perfectly either.
Yeah, and so Kat, I appreciate you. NYJ, thank you so much, man.
Just go back to that super chat for a second though. The Ty Simpson thing is interesting because we text all the time, and like I like him. I like his game a lot, but you see the inexperience. And the last game, like you saw him under pressure, getting a little rattled, getting a little erratic, big pressure spot, which is like, he's young, dude. It's a lot of inexperience here. This is a big game feel, all this going on where it's like, you know what? He could probably use another year in school and then come out and be a much more polished quarterback. So then me as my cynical Jet fan, I'm like, oh my God, like if the Jets take this kid this year, do I have faith in this staff developing this kid who's got a lot of raw talent, got a lot of ability, but has a little bit way to go in terms of maturity as an NFL quarterback? And that makes me concerned a little bit, where Mendoza is more the established project, like the more established, like polished quarterback at this point.
Yeah, Mendoza is, to me, QB1. I don't really see that changing through April.
No,
I mean, he's been my QB1 since September. Like, he's, to me, I almost kind of feel like Mendoza gets like this bad rap where it's just like, all right, fine, I guess we have to put Mendoza as QB1 because there's no one else. It's like, how about we look at his game and, focus on the positives, which is extreme accuracy. He's the most accurate quarterback in college football. He makes great decisions with the ball. He does not turn it over. He gets rid of the football really quickly. So he can find the open guy, decides to throw the ball. And, the reason why I'm kind of like chuckling about it is because, again, that's like the opposite of Justin Fields. Like the 3 main areas of concern with Fields: inaccurate passes, long time to develop, long time to understand what's happening and to make a decision to throw. And everything just feels so slowly moving. Whereas with Mendoza, and I'm not saying that Mendoza is some top 5, top 10 guy year one or anything like that, But with Mendoza, it just looks like a super clean, super smooth operation. The ball can come out. He can see the open guy. He can throw it to the open guy. If that guy is covered, he can throw them open. I like Mendoza a lot, man. I don't think he's going to be, by the end of his rookie year, I don't view Mendoza as a top 8 quarterback in football. And a lot of people would have a major issue with drafting a guy number 1, number 2, number 3 overall if you don't think he could be a top 8 guy. But I think if everything around Mendoza is great, like in the hypothetical world where Mendoza gets the perfect system and the perfect coaching staff and all the weapons, I think he could be probably the 9th or 10th best QB in football.
But just look at in theory, the Jets going into next year. The offensive line, in theory, should be a strength. You have a good nucleus now. Say you go get a better center, but you have Olu, you have Membu. Say you keep Tippmann at guard, you bring back John Simpson. The offensive line should be a strength. You look at your playmakers, Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, assuming Breece Hall. You're going to add at least 2 receivers. You're going to have playmakers on offense. So if you have a decent offensive line and some playmakers, say Breece, Mason Taylor, and Garrett Wilson, that's not a bad building block for a guy like Mendoza, where it's not like he's going into an empty, oh, well, I got nothing. I'm running for my life, getting my ass kicked every week. That won't be the case. My concern is he, how far away is he? And do you have the people in the building that can actually get the most out of him? And that's where we try to figure this out. And then the other question is, do you mortgage your draft for him, or do you make that big power move to get him? Is he that caliber of a quarterback where it's say the Jets draft 6th or 5th or 6th? Do you say, you know what, we got to get up to 1. We got to get him. He is our guy. He's our slam dunk. He's our must-have. Or do you say, you know what, he's a good quarterback. We need a bunch of players. We can go wide receiver, defensive end of the first round, change it up. And then maybe in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th round, you get a quarterback there as your shot in the dark. And maybe next year go for the quarterback. So you have your project quarterback, your bridge quarterback, and next year you get the guy. Is Mendoza that much of a difference maker for you?
Well, to preface, we're still in November,
right?
And it's weird is so Indiana is undefeated. They have won in pretty much every single way. They've beaten great teams. They've beaten bad teams. They've had blowout victories. They've had close victories. They've won at home. They've won in hectic Eugene, Oregon, and Iowa. Just Happy Valley, right? Penn State. There's a lot of winning going on with Indiana right now, and Fernando Mendoza is a big part of it. Clearly, now he has a great coach. He has a great setup. You look at what Indiana does in the portal. They have numerous NFL guys, numerous NFL wide receivers that are going to be in this class. So he is in a good situation. But there's still time left in the college football season. If he basically, the point is here, with every single game that passes, all eyes are going to be on him. And if he has, think about even just the swap, watching that, that Penn State game, of just kind of the reaction online. I personally just stay away from Twitter and stuff on the weekends.
Yep.
But during that game, I kind of tuned in a little bit, not to the game, but just to the online, what are people saying? And it just felt like it was 10x with the amount of people watching Mendoza for whatever reason on that game compared to when they played Oregon or when they played Iowa earlier on in the season. It just felt like for whatever reason, all eyes were on that game. And there were a lot of people saying, oh, they're out on Mendoza after the 2-3 quarters. And granted, it wasn't pretty, but he found a way to win. That last drive was incredible. Yep. I think there is something to be said about looking poorly and then being able to bounce back and, not only just look okay, look capable, but to actually go out and secure the win. That's valuable to me, in my opinion. So the games from here on out are only going to get bigger. If Mendoza goes out there and throws for 4 touchdowns in the first game of the college football playoffs, his stock is going to rise.
Yep.
If he goes out there and throws 3 picks and it just looks clunky, there's probably going to be a lot of people that are I've seen Mendoza play. This is my one or, my second time watching him. I'm out. I think that's kind of a scary game to play.
Well, it's also, you got to figure, you're also not drafting the player that's today. You're drafting the potential of him in the future. Saying, listen, this is what you are today, but we anticipate you being this much better player with these traits going forward too. So he's like a pile of clay right now. Like, all right, you're seeing little things, but you're going to mold him as an NFL quarterback as you move forward. But to me, it's just like over the next month or so, we're going to be, listen, is he a guy that the Jets most likely aren't going to have number 1 pick? Is he going to be a guy that you're like, he has to be our must have? And for some fans, they are now, like today, like, oh, this is our guy. You have to get him now with, I'm like, all right, that's fine. That's your opinion. I'm going to wait a long time to decide that. But the early things now, it's like, I'm not so sure. I think he's a great quarterback, but are the Jets, I don't know if they're ready for him or not, to be honest with you, where you could say taking that, is he that slam dunk guy where you can take, instead of trading up, keep your picks, address other positions, draft a quarterback in a later round, and maybe revisit this next year or go the veteran route. Like I'm still not have a slam dunk answer for that yet.
Yeah. And the NFL draft's a weird thing. Like, think about Jackson Dart for a second. His stock started to rise after he was done playing football. Like, no one thought he was a first round pick when he was playing football. It wasn't until they go back and they start rewatching there, and you're almost like talking yourself into it. At the Senior Bowl, he was talked about going in the 3rd round. Yeah. After the Senior Bowl, after that week of practice, it was like maybe he could be a round 2 guy. Yep. He just continues to build. And I do think a part of that is Shedeur Sanders, just his draft stock was just tanked, the pro day and then all the stuff around that. And so it was kind of like, all right, well, the other QB needy teams need a quarterback still. It doesn't change their need there. And then you just kind of have you have Dart killing the pre-draft process. He has a great pro day and stuff like that. So he ends up going round 1, where if you would have asked a lot of people, maybe outside of Rebels fans, like, hey, do you think Jackson Dart's a first-round guy in November? There would be like, no, he's too short, the arm strength and this and that. So yeah, the NFL draft's a weird thing. We have risers, we have fallers. Once we start getting like combine measurements and private workouts and pro days, interviews, all that stuff, we'll get a clearer picture, obviously.
And also who goes back to school too, which could play a huge part in this where there's a lot of people saying, Dante Moore could go back. There's a chance Simpson could go back. Like, if these guys that are kind of on the border that are saying, oh, they're, if they're all going back to school, your market gets kind of slims down a little bit. And then it gets really interesting where you got to think about your pivot options.
Yep. Totally. NYJ, I appreciate you, man. Aaron Glenn should have known better than to sign Fields after Fields got beat out in Pittsburgh by Russ. Well, here's the thing with that. Pittsburgh, let Russ walk after the season, but they wanted Fields back, and Fields picked the Jets over Pittsburgh because of the situation that happened in Pittsburgh with him getting benched
and the money.
And the money too. Although we never really truly got the exact contract numbers from Pittsburgh's perspective, but that was out there that the Steelers were trying to get him back, and so it wasn't like the Jets were like, again, I get that it's easy to dunk on the Jets and make fun of them and stuff. Oh, they wound up with Fields, but the reality was you had Pittsburgh right there at the bidding table, trying to get him back, and Fields opted for the Jets. So yeah, it didn't work out for the Jets, but at least they tried. And it's again, it's not a 4-year deal. It's not $100 million. We're not tied to the guy. It is what it is. Ghost, I appreciate you, man. JC salute. If we miss out on the top 2 quarterbacks, do you take a chance on Kyler Murray or Mac Jones? I'm going to assume. Yep. I think Daniel Jones is going to be back with Indy for sure.
Yep.
Tyson, you can go ahead on this, man. I'm curious to get your take on K1. Well,
Ian has anointed me as Kyler Murray's biggest fan, so I have to embrace that role. But I will say I want nothing to do with Kyler Murray. I just don't. He's not on my.
You want nothing to do. That's a pretty big statement.
Nothing to do with him. Absolutely nothing to do with him. Now, Mac Jones is a product of playing great football with Kyle Shanahan. He's spreading around. They're doing all kinds of injuries, and he's an interesting player. He can. Is he going to be paid as your bridge quarterback? Are you looking at him as like your? What is he like? What are you considering him? Like, if you're going to say, listen, give Mac Jones 2 years to kind of come here and like while we groom Simpson. Cool with me. Like, I don't hate the idea. But Murray for me is just, I'm out, dude. Because like Murray to me is like, you want like Aaron Glenn's trying to change the culture. He's trying to do all like work ethic, high character, hard work, all this like blue collar mindset. That's everything Kyler Murray's not. He's just not that guy. So why add them to the mix? And not to mention he's not a consistent passer either, though. So it's if of these two, if Mac Jones is like your again.
No. You can finish.
No, I'm just saying of the two, I would take Mac Jones as like your bridge stopgap guy, but he's probably going to want decent money though.
Well, Mac's on a 2-year deal, so we'd have to trade for him.
Oh, even that too. I didn't even. I thought.
Yeah, and so because it's like here's the thing with Mac, right? I guess we could talk about Mac first. It's like first of all, if the Jets truly wanted Mac Jones, they could have signed him to begin with. I mean, he signed a backup. It's not like San Francisco said, "Hey, come here and start." No, he signed on to be a backup for 2 years. So you got to imagine, just common sense would tell you. I actually am dropping a video on Mac Jones tomorrow, but the common sense would tell you if the Jets had interest and Mac Jones declined the option in Jacksonville to hit free agency, probably because he didn't want to be a backup. And I think he's from Jacksonville also. So it's, it's easy to just, be the backup quarterback in your hometown, first season and then hit free agency, but he declined it. You're kind of thinking, okay, well, if he's declining the guaranteed backup job, if the Jets approached him and said, hey, here's a starting caliber contract, here's, a type of deal that they gave Fields or something, he probably would have pounced on it. Yeah. And instead of just signing this small 2-year guaranteed backup deal with San Fran. So, I mean, you can argue, okay, maybe he wanted to pull go down the Sam Darnold route where he works with Shanahan and then boom, everything is all figured out with him. But I mean, really, dude, every quarterback that Shanahan works with, he just looks amazing outside of Trey Lance, really. Yeah. But I mean, even when Shanahan was on other squads, like Matt Ryan, that was when he won an MVP, and going back to Washington, Kirk Cousins and stuff, RG3. So that's the first thing. If the Jets truly wanted Mac, they could have just signed him to a cheap deal to begin with. And we're not even a full calendar year removed from free agency. That was in March. We're now in November. And the discussion went from, no, I don't want Mac Jones. He's off the scrap heap from New England. He's a backup in Jacksonville. He is not the answer. He's not mobile. He has a weak arm. Yep. To now, because it's not just the Jets here. It's the Browns. There's been some Mac Jones buzz and stuff. Raiders potentially. It's like, what's the highest compensation? What's the trade compensation? What can we give to acquire Mac? And it hasn't even been 12 full months. Has not even been 1 full year. And that the whole perception on Mac is changed. Yeah. I mean, if you're a Niner fan, news comes out after the season that Mac gets traded for a pick swap or a 7th. Are you happy? Nope. You want, I would say, a 4th round pick gets you in the door. I don't know why the Niners would trade Mac Jones for a 5th round pick. I just don't know why they would.
Especially as much as Brock Purdy's been getting hurt too. Like he's been hurt. He gets hurt all the time.
Yeah, it's a good point. And Mac obviously wants to be there. He fits the system. He's proven that he can win.
And his stock is rising too.
Yeah, his stock's rising. Like, I don't think continuing his work with Shanahan is going to make him worse as a quarterback. So
good point.
Yeah. And so, if you're the Niners, you have the Steelers that need a quarterback. The Raiders are going to need one. The Browns. I don't think the Saints would move. I think at that point, you just continue to roll with Shuck. You have the Jets, maybe Miami, but I don't know. Feels very vague with the whole coaching thing up in the air. But you have all these teams that need a quarterback. Why would the Niners let him go for a 6th? So
yeah, that's fair.
So let's just hypothetically say, okay, you're the Jets and you call up the 49ers and you're like, hey, here's a 4th round pick for Mac Jones. A, do you feel comfortable with that? But then B, if the Steelers say, hey, San Fran, here's our 3rd. Yeah. We don't have a 3rd to match. So now we're talking going around 2.
Yeah. No.
And that to me is just I'm not doing that. I'm not trading a 2nd for Mac Jones. You know what I mean? Oh
yeah, that's good. I had no idea he was on a contract next year, so that's my bad. You got me on that one. Yeah, I'm not trading for him like that. That's nope.
Would you do a 4th rounder for him though?
Yeah, I would.
You would? Okay.
I'm desperate. Like I'm moving on from Fields. So my role right now, we have no Tyrod and no Fields next year. So our quarterback room is just Brady Cook. So we need somebody, and right?
Yeah. And just to if you want to just be that guy in the room, if you're trying to play devil's advocate to Muji, you can say like, all right, well, we have so many first rounders. There's only so many young players that we can have on the roster anyway. Like you don't want a 53-man roster with one player over 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You need a competent quarterback. You need like a professional quarterback that can run an offense. That's what you need. So
yeah, and you can start like comping Mac Jones to Goff. Because both guys are smart, both guys can pick up the system, both guys are pocket passers, both guys are accurate, but neither of them have good arms. Mm-hmm. Both of them, you kind of feel like they start falling off when the weather gets cold.
Yeah.
Like I know with Jared Goff, even like this past game in Philly, he just didn't look the same. He was terrible. The second glove, the ball is just fluttering through the air. Mac Jones is the same way. Both guys are immobile. They can't really extend, either. So, and that was kind of the whole point on why I thought, maybe there's a chance in the offseason, but then it was just like, boom, Fields immediately. In regards to Kyler Murray, I'm more open to it than Tyson is. I think, how about this, Tyson? If Kyler Murray becomes a Jet, you got to either buy his jersey or get some sort of autographed Kyler Murray card or something in display.
Well, I think look at the super chat. I think Kadu's got a good idea.
Oh, I'm still behind here. Oh, there we go. There we go, K-Dude. I appreciate you, man. Thanks so much for the 2. Yeah, if that's the case, man, we can definitely try to hook it up.
Yeah, at least get me a Jets T-shirt, like Jets like #1 T-shirt with like Murray on the back. You just got to do that.
Yeah.
And I'll wear it for every stream too.
Okay, even better. Yeah, I mean, I'm more open to Kyler. I don't necessarily think he's like the end all be all.
But tell me why though. Tell me why Kyler and why with the Jets.
Well, he's better than what we currently have.
Which that's not saying much. I
Yes,
can make a case for you right now, dude, over Justin Fields. So it's not saying, it's
so, but okay, but that's just the groundwork. Okay, he's going to come in and be an upgrade. He does have, despite how you personally feel about him, he's shown insane potential. You always feel like he's the fastest player on the field at all times. And again, I'm not pushing my chips into the middle of the table and saying Kyler Murray is the #1 option for me. I'm just trying to make a case on how, in what world does it make sense for the Jets to do this? Like, if they do this, how are they going to sell it to us?
Okay.
Type of thing. Elite athlete, right? We know that the Jets obviously value mobility, athleticism at the quarterback position, hence signing Justin Fields and keeping Tyrod Taylor at quarterback. And you also kind of think too, like defensive minds always want the mobile guy because it's tough to defend against those guys naturally. And so whenever you have a guy like that, they always like naturally.
So far, you're describing Justin Fields. So okay, keep going.
I mean, if you can't tell the difference between Fields and Murray, then I don't know what to tell you, man. Because look, Murray's not amazing. Murray's not a top 10 quarterback, but I do think he's top 20. I would have a very difficult time naming 20 quarterbacks that right now are better than Kyler Murray. All things considered, age, contract, this and that. And I think you don't have to trade a first round pick to land him. If you can trade one of your seconds and a fourth, or a second and a future pick, a future third or a future fourth or whatever, you don't have to trade your 5 first round picks that you have. You're not at a net loss of draft picks because we now have so many. So we're upgrading, going from F- quarterback play to a top 20 guy who's 28 years old. And you don't have to move off of the 5 ones. So you can now say, okay, these are 5 starters that are going to be inserted into this team over the next 2 seasons. And we have 2 twos. So yeah, we could dump one of them, but we still have a second round pick anyway. So if you want, like, if you're looking at the draft picks, like, okay, this is the gold standard of rebuilding the team. We can't miss. We cannot waste these. We cannot trade 3 of them to go up to the top of the draft to select Mendoza or Simpson or whoever. If you want to hang on to those picks and also try to upgrade and be competitive and have someone that you can, like, you can sell me on the Kyler Murray idea. But I mean, we just talked about.
But what's your explanation why it went wrong and with where he's at now? Like, I think it all fell apart with the Cardinals.
Well, I think the first thing that we got to realize, sometimes the situation just falls apart in general. I mean, look at Jared Goff with the LA Rams. That situation fell apart. Daniel Jones with the Giants, Baker Mayfield with the Browns, Sam Darnold with all these other teams. I think there's the two quarterbacks, and I know you're really high on one of them, but it's Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts that you feel like right now publicly people are looking at both of those guys saying, "Hey, we expect more."
Why aren't Jalen Hurts in a heartbeat? I would take him in a heartbeat. I wouldn't give a rat's ass. If Eagle fans complaining about him, send him to the Jets. No problem at all whatsoever. Slam dunk, done. I would.
But both of those guys are looked at like because you see like, oh, Jets trade for Joe Burrow. We should trade for Trevor Lawrence and stuff. There's no real like there's that just feels like it's a pipe dream type of. It's more so hope or like fan pushed, fan driven. With Jalen Hurts, like you can tell there is frustration with Philly, whether it's Patullo, whether it's AJ Brown, whether it's Hurts trying to press, whether it's him playing poorly or everything in between. You can tell like there's friction there's something there.
But I think the biggest difference between Kyler Murray and Jalen Hurts and me, I'm not being a locker room, but just my assumption is Jalen Hurts is a legitimate leader. He's tough as nails. He's physical. He's a first in, last out kind of guy. Is Kyler Murray that kind of guy? Is he that young, strong leader that rallies his team? Everybody buys in. Everybody's going to rally behind him and say, you know what? That's our guy. Especially trying to change your culture to this blue collar mentality where it's like, we want to be tough. We want to be this. Is he the right fit for this organization where Jalen Hurts is that guy, dude? Like, dude, he just, especially all the stuff he's dealing with in the Philadelphia market when they won a Super Bowl. And he could have Super Bowl MVP. He could have been the MVP the Super Bowl before that. So it's like, I don't know, man. I understand what you're saying about Kyler Murray. I just don't think he's a good fit, dude. I think he's
well, yeah. So, well, I wasn't debating Murray versus.
But I'm just saying, but you mentioned like we talk about like Hurts. It's like you know what you're getting out of him. Like you're getting a fiery leader. A Kyler Murray, is he a strong locker room guy? Is he a guy that when you have this very young offense, where it's two young tackles, a young tight end, all these young receivers? Is he the guy you want to mold your offense around and be the leader of all of them?
I think Hurts checks the box over Murray in that regard.
But even Hurts out of the equation, if you said Murray's going to be the guy, do you feel comfortable for him to have that role with this team?
Well, there's a chance that it could turn around. I mean, this is kind of what I was just talking about before with Mac Jones, right? We're not even a full 12 months removed from people looking at him and thinking he's a laughingstock. No, he's not a franchise quarterback. Now we're talking about potentially trading a third for him. And there's Browns fans saying the same thing. And there's Steelers fans that are saying, hey, what would it maybe take to land Mac? So the perception on Daniel Jones was made fun of, I want to say, every day on sports radio, on TV. Now ask a Colts fan how they feel about Daniel Jones. So the perception can change. Goff, his reputation was shot when he went to Detroit. Yeah. And even Matt Stafford, like that situation, I think everyone kind of looked at Stafford and said like, okay, this guy's a really good quarterback. But the whole sell was McVay wants to get over the hump. He wants to win playoff games. He wants to win a Super Bowl. And so you can argue, like there was a group of people that argued, so how does it make any sense going with Matt Stafford, the guy that's not good in the playoffs and he's historically a loser? So I think there's second chances in the NFL, and sometimes, sometimes situations fall apart. But
it's also coaching too, though. You figure Baker Mayfield went there for 3 to 4 days and started lighting it up there with the Rams. It's also coaching too. Like you're taking that guy that could be that. So it's like, all right, you're going to take Kyler Murray. Like that's our guy. We're going to like reclamation project, or maybe not as bad as Fields. All right, Engstrand, go figure him out and mold him and make him better. That's you're not giving them to McVay or Shanahan. You're giving them to freaking Tanner Engstrand.
Right. And I think just from like an on-field standpoint with Murray, like the main reason why it's just all kind of crumbled, just down the field, it's just not really much happening. I don't know if it's his height. I don't know if it's maybe the personnel around him, but it just feels like he just checks the ball down really quickly. He drops his eyes. He looks at the rush. He takes not brutal sacks, but you can tell he just does not want to be slammed around in the pocket.
But even like he had no chemistry with Marvin Harrison Jr. either. Like Marvin Harrison Jr. was like a bust. They're like, what the hell is this guy? He's worthless. And all of a sudden Brissett comes in. It's like,
Well, I still feel like Marvin gets a bad. I mean, he had what, over 800 receiving yards, a lot of touchdowns his rookie year, I believe.
Yep.
And it's only, a year and a half into Marvin's career. So when I look at Kyler Murray, I think there are things to get behind. I'm not saying he's my number one option. I'm not saying that he is the end all be all. Get him and we're secure for the next 10 years. But I do think, again, he's better than what we have. He gives you a fighting chance. He's a top 20 quarterback in the league. You don't have to spend a first round to go get him, so you can really fill the team out, edge rusher, safety, wide receiver, guard, whatever, with these picks the next couple of seasons. And
better than what you have is like it's the easiest like argument to make because we have nothing. What do we have? We have nothing. Next year, right now, we have nothing. So
okay. Let me ask you. It's a substantial upgrade over Justin Fields.
But that's not saying anything, though.
Yes, it is.
Zach Wilson's an upgrade over friggin' Justin Fields.
So who
I'm saying, like, it's like Kyler Murray. Like Kyler Murray is an upgrade, but it's not like we're going like you're going from an F- to a B+. What would you give Kyler Murray?
I would say C+, B-.
Okay, so I'm poor like in the C- kind of like, all right.
Yeah,
like, it's an upgrade. Cool. It's an upgrade. It's not the ideal situation, but I don't know.
I mean, I think it's important to, when I say he's an upgrade over Justin Fields, I'm not saying because Tyrod Taylor's an upgrade over Justin Fields, and it's no disrespect to Fields, by the way. I think I can speak for everybody. Like, we all wished he worked out, but let me ask you this: if you can choose, who would you rather want trotting out for the Jets next season to start 2026? Kyler Murray or Carson Wentz?
Oh, Jesus, Wentz look terrible.
Or Mariota, or Trubisky, or Jimmy G at 40, however old
Jimmy G. No, it's you're picking your poison at that point. So I'm guessing. I guess at that point, based on ability, you're gonna. No, based on that argument, you'd go Kyler Murray, just based on his just athletic ability.
Yeah, I mean, could you name 20 quarterbacks that are easily, without a doubt, better than Murray right now? I don't think I can. I think 20? I'd probably have him at like 17, 18. And so if I could, just from a basic on paper standpoint, if I can go from literally having an atrocious, horrifying passing attack to getting a top 20 guy, and we don't have to trade a first, that could be, I can see this. I can see the reasoning why, or the sales pitch.
Right.
And it would be different if we were in the Jaden Daniels draft. Oh, just draft Bo Nix at 12. Just draft Penix at 9 or whatever, 8 or 9. Drake May at 3. But it's looking like it could be a 2 QB class, and I don't want to just stamp that on this class right now because it's November. Yeah, and I mean, anything could happen, but right now it does feel slim pickings when it comes to QB, when it comes to the draft. So it's like weak. Like, I don't know. I think Glenn would honestly get fired if we bring in a quarterback next season. Like, we signed Joe Flacco on a 1-year deal, and it's just like, okay, he's going to be the bridge to 2027, and we're going to go land our quarterback then. I don't see how we survive 17 games.
Yeah, but if they, this is a whole nother argument now, because if it's, say it's a 2 quarterback class and Mendoza goes 1 and we don't get 1, I'd rather not reach to appease the fans. Like, no, I had to draft a quarterback because everybody thinks I should. No, you have to adjust it. So you go to your best available. You go your wide receiver, defensive end, and if you have to go quarterback in round 4 or round 3, take a shot there. But you don't reach, dude. You can't do that. But then you have to be creative and prepared in free agency to get a veteran quarterback because you need one. You know what I mean? Like, that's just proper planning for your team. You can't just mail it in. Like, that's, I don't know. Yeah,
that's how the Steelers drafted Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what? Like, that's the last thing you want to do when you can use that resource at a much different position with a team that has several holes.
Mm-hmm. Personally certified hater. What's going on, man? Hope you're doing well, dude. As a college football watcher, the difference in the level that Ty Simpson has to compete against compared to Mendoza is huge. Mendoza's Penn State passing TD was all the receiver, not the quarterback.
They were.
Yeah, Simpson, he's gone to Missouri. He's gone to Georgia. Obviously, the Iron Bowl later on this season. He's had some freaking big-time wins, man. He was rocked by Florida State, though, in week 1, which is pretty fun watching. But No, like what's cool too about Simpson is not only are they just winning in those big games, but he's making like fourth down
He's making
money throws, dude.
Yep.
Like you kind of feel like he has that like Kobe Bryant.
Yep.
You give me the ball on fourth down. Like I can make the throw. I'm not going to be overwhelmed or scared of the moment, So yeah, Ty's an interesting option. He could go back to school, but I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to look at this class and he's going to be like, I'm 23 years old. I sat on the bench for 3 years. I already graduated. My stock probably isn't going to get much higher than what it is now. Because if Ty Simpson comes out, I think he's going top 5.
Yeah. Because everybody's desperate for quarterbacks, and you got to take your shot. It's Mendoza's interesting. Like I could see what he's saying here about Mendoza because I have a lot of friends that are watching the game too. It's like I actually texted you in the Penn State game because he had the interception, then he took a big sack. I'm like, oh my god, this kid's melting, and he made some money throws, but the receivers made ridiculous catches. I mean, those were like all highlight catches on the sideline, back of the end zone, everything else. And there's times it's just like I think we want to see like this, like we want to see Mahomes right now to Mendoza. We want to see like the best quarterback we've ever seen in our life and say that's Mendoza, that's our guy. And we're trying to see more than that's actually going on there. You know what I mean? Like he's good, but he's a work in progress. You still want to see a lot more out of him, but it's just like everybody wants to anoint somebody right off the bat.
Yeah. I mean, these Andrew Luck, like Trevor Lawrence types of prospects just don't really come around all that often. NYJ, thanks again, man. Are you guys against drafting a quarterback in 2026 and 2027?
Nope.
No, but in the first round, yes. Like if we go Mendoza or Simpson in this year, I'm not drafting another one in 2027.
Yeah, but if you get somebody, say, in the second round or the fourth round, I'd have no problem doing it again next year. I wouldn't care in the first round. I wouldn't care at all.
Yeah. Because then it's like, maybe Tyler Shuck this year, like Jimmy Clausen with Carolina. What was Clausen? Clausen was like the first or like he was a second round pick by Carolina, and then the next year they just go Cam Newton number 1, and Clausen's just boom down to the bench.
Just keep taking your shot.
Mitt, holy crap, man, that's insane. Super generous, dude. Thank you. I'm with my man JC here. Kyler Murray would be a huge upgrade. We have the draft capital to go get a quarterback. Got to keep making swings at QB. Murray can have a rejuvenation like Goff did. Here's a interesting twist to that to kind of add to Mitt's point. Kyler, like he was the number 1 high school quarterback coming out. He's literally like the greatest player in Texas football history. Like this coming out of the state, like multiple state championships. I literally think he was like 50-0 as a high school quarterback. Texas A&M, transfers to Oklahoma, wins the Heisman, wins a bunch of games. First overall pick, top 10 pick by the A's in the MLB draft, rookie of the year. This is like I would say this is like the first time probably in Murray's life where the expectation or like the optics, the feeling amongst fans is you're not that good. Because forever, Murray has always been like the favorite to win.
Yep.
Or expected to be great or expected to produce or this and that. Now it's like Murray, like you gotta prove something to us. And I think coming to New York with a chip on his shoulder, same argument could be made with Jalen Hurts. I think that's although that's completely.
I so disagree.
You don't think that'd be cool if Kyler Murray has a chip on his shoulder?
He can have a chip on his shoulder, but the thing is, the issues that are about him are concerning when it's work ethic and leadership, and that's the most important. That's the most important characteristic of your quarterback. Like that's like great. He's a great athlete. Great athlete doesn't mean great quarterback. It doesn't mean that. You need to be a leader of men. You need to be smart. Game manager, all these different things. Is he that? Is it now like, oh, you know what? I gotta start watching. I gotta read the playbook now. If you learn that after 5 years, you gotta learn a playbook. No, you should. These are all things he should have done. Like the locker room things are more concerning to me than anything else, especially with this young team.
Nightmare, doomsday scenario for the Jets is they finish outside of the top 5 and they don't make a swing for a Hurts and by the way, I have no idea if the Eagles are even open to moving Hurts. Kyler Murray, I think will be, the Cardinals will listen to calls. Hurts, I'm not sure. That I just brought that up because that's the one other quarterback in football that you just kind of
Yep.
like you look at who's established, who's good, he's a franchise quarterback, but the situation is just
There's something up.
I think you just feel like there's something strange happening there. And if Darren Muji calls Philly once the offseason hits and says, "Hey Howie, hey Joe Douglas,
I was gonna say, hey Joe Douglas,
we have a trade proposal for Jalen Hurts. Do you want to hear it?" Do you think the Eagles would hang up?
Nope.
Or do you think they would say,
don't listen?
What do you have to offer? Yeah. If Muji called Brandon Beane with the Bills and said, "Hey, we have a trade proposal for Allen," you think he'd hang up?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think Murray I don't want to say for sure he's going to be on another team, but I feel like he's going to have a suitor or two.
Yeah, of course.
Hurts again we'll see. Like if there's a disappointing round one exit, because I feel like it would be tough for Philly to move off of Hurts and say, now what?
Well, they like Tanner McKee. The fans already want Tanner McKee to play. And nobody's really talking about the offensive coordinator, too. He could be terrible, too, like Patullo. But, dude, I live around there. I live 45 minutes from Philly. So I hear the Philly fans all day long, "Oh, Hurts this, Hurts that." I'm like, dude, give me that problem. I'll take that problem right off your hands, no problem. But they want to keep Devontae Smith happy. They want to keep Barkley happy, A.J. Brown happy. So don't worry about, like, A.J. Brown's pissed off. We can't lose him. Get rid of the quarterback. Like, all right, well, that's one way of looking at things.
Yeah, I just don't. I mean, McKee's one thing, but like, are they really going to drop McKee in
It's
and
crazy.
Just Super Bowl expectations?
Yep, we'll see.
I don't know, man. But I guess the Eagles would have a package coming back in return, so maybe they can, do something with their first round picks. As far as the other guys around the league, Tua, I want no part of.
Nope.
Deshaun Watson, I want no part of.
Nope.
Geno Smith's interesting, but he's just too much of a turnover machine. I think at this point, Hurts and Murray, I just feel like are the two guys that have like bounce back potential, like Goff, like Darnold.
Well, Geno would never come back anyway. He'd never come back to New York anyway. And I don't think Trevor Lawrence is going to go anywhere, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no, like, I haven't seen a single report saying that Lawrence is on his way out or he's going to request a trade or he's unhappy. I mean, they've done a lot for Lawrence, man.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to play out.
Hates them, but
there's a lot to play out. You have to let the season play out. Who makes the playoffs? Who falls apart? Who melts in a big spot? And that changes a lot of things too. It's only November 18th, so a lot could change between now and then.
We're going to, I think, get the definitive answer on the last week of the season. When we get that draft order, that's going to point the Jets in the direction. Because look, if we get pick 8 or pick 7 or 6 or something, I just, at that point, the options are either trade for a vet or trade up in the draft. I hate the idea of just settling, like you mentioned before, and just picking, we'll go with QB4 here, I guess, like, because we kind of like him and we need a QB. Because I just don't know how personally I could get behind us not selecting one of the top end rookies or passing on a premium option or like a premium trade option like a Murray or a Hurts, and we just sign DeVito or something like that. It's just like, all right, we got 17 games of this.
They've got to put themselves in a chance to compete next year. They've got to be able to compete next year. You can't be like another 3-win season. No, you got to find a way to scratch and claw and get 6-7 wins or something next year. You can't have another abysmal showing.
Yeah, and I think another thing too, man, is like the Jets are in this weird spot because they have to win next season, not win 10 games or anything, but just like we can't be winning 3-4 games next season.
Nope.
Like that's unacceptable, right? That cannot happen. But at the same time, if that's the expectation for the Jets to be, 7, 8, 9 wins, maybe, well, now we're out of the range for the top quarterback in 2027 anyway. So we're now talking about packaging picks and shooting up in that draft. So I don't know. And, the 2027 class right now on paper, like there's going to be like a lot of really good skill position players too, like Jeremiah Smith, Ohio State. Like there's a lot of players in that class, but it's just, if Muji sits down with Mendoza and Simpson and is just not really feeling it, or he doesn't really feel like he's getting the buy-in from those guys, then don't force it, right? Don't force it, but you have to have a backup plan.
You got to draft a quarterback, just no matter what round. You have to have some kind of developmental guy in the building other than Brady Cook, like at least a significant like prospect, not another undrafted free agent.
Like if Carson Beck is there in round 4 or
Something
something.
like that. Yeah, I'm not his biggest fan, but yeah, that's fine. But that's somebody like, all right, some talent, which I wish they did this year. You know what I mean? That would have been ideal. They had that this year, but they banked on Jordan Travis and it blew up in their face.
Forgot about Travis. Yeah. But Mitt, I appreciate you, man. Thank you a ton. Joe, what's going on, dude? Thanks so much for that. Ian, Kyler Murray would be the worst idea ever. I don't think it would be the worst idea ever. I respect your opinion, but I think there's I think there's a lot of worse options right now.
But there's got to be a different standard though. Like we're gonna fight about this stuff for the next God knows how many months. I can see this already.
And again, I'm not saying that Murray is the Lamar,
but the argument that there's worse options. Yeah, we're dealing with them, but let's have it's just we have to have higher standards.
I think if you were to ask the Lions fan how they felt about Goff when they got him, it would be the same type of reaction.
Next Tuesday, I'm going to give you 20 quarterbacks better than Kyler Murray.
Okay, but it has to be realistic. It can't be. This is projecting into 2020.
What are you calling me, fantasy land over here? I'd keep it real.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, let's do it. I would be surprised if you can get beyond 18.
All right, we'll see. You're getting nervous. You're getting nervous right now, aren't you? Like, I should have said 25.
No, I'm excited, man. I'm excited to, because I mean, next week, man, we'll be debating over on your channel. Let's Talk Jets. By the way, I don't know if you saw YouTube added this new thing where you can invite a collaborator or something, and it's basically it'll say this video or the stream is coming out from Jet Central and Let's Talk Jets.
Nice.
It'll be both down there, but I couldn't figure it out before the stream.
Well, if you can't figure it out, no, I can't figure it out.
Well, you got the vertical going for the phones on StreamYard, so
I don't know how that happened.
But Joe, dude, I appreciate you, man. Thanks a lot for for hanging out. Let's see. We on a winning streak, Jets contending for the #1 pick. Hey Tyson, what did I text you on Sunday early in the morning during the Dolphins game?
Yep, it's true.
You remember?
No.
I said that I hope the Dolphins keep on winning games.
So that's right.
Doing McDaniel for the next season.
Yeah, McDaniel's saving his job apparently. Yeah, I mean, which is crazy.
Yeah, but dude, as far as this upcoming week, Jets Ravens, I think the Jets are a 14-point underdog or something. But Taylor's going to be playing. Do you have any, confidence? What's kind of your confidence number out of 10? The age-old question.
I like the fact that Taylor's playing. I do. That gives them a fighting chance. But I just think their offense is going to bully the living hell of the Jets defense. The Jets defense, I think, is just a lot of injuries, a lot of inexperience, a lot of guys playing out of position. And I'm just not sure how the defensive line even stacks up. They're going to get pushed around, to be honest with you. And then the mobility of Lamar Jackson, all these different things, man. It's just but I said the same thing about the Patriots. I thought the Patriots are going to light Jets up. Maybe the Jets show some more fight this week. I don't know. But I don't like the matchup, though, at all.
Yeah, a lot of man coverage against a running quarterback in Lamar, where you have corners and linebackers with their back turned to the quarterback. I don't know. It's just, I just I don't know how it's going to go. But you can argue, Ravens defense hasn't been all that great. Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur Sanders, the Browns are a complete mess, and they somehow, the game was competitive against Cleveland last week.
True.
And also too, man, this is one of the strangest years, in my opinion, of the NFL. You don't even feel like there's one team or two teams that are better than everyone else. I'd probably put the Rams as the best team in football right now, but the Bills have had some sketchy losses. The Chiefs have had 5 losses. Chargers have had some head scratchers. The Ravens started off so bad, and have had a ton of defensive issues. Atlanta, what the heck? Dude, Atlanta is a 3-win team. They don't even have a first-round pick next year.
Yeah, no, I don't see it working out, dude. I think it's going to be a disaster.
We'll see what happens. Micro, JC Tyson boxes. Oh, yeah, I know. Dude, I would love to box Tyson.
But I'm down, dude.
That'd be fun. We can stream it. That could be
I'm 100% down for that. I'm kickbox, whatever you want to do. I'm down.
That'd be fun as hell.
100% down for that.
Fun. Well, New England and the Broncos has something to say about that. Yeah, but I mean, even like if I was a Bills fan, I would be looking to play both of those teams in the playoffs.
Yeah.
If I was a Charger fan, I think what at least for me, like when I watch those teams, I'm not blown away by like to me, Denver is not that much better than their competition.
Especially
You
Bo
know,
Nix kind of
New
struggling a
England
little
too.
bit. Like Bo Nix has been kind of erratic and struggling a little bit too, where it gives you a little bit of confidence. Where the Broncos defense is so good, but there's ways to beat them.
Yeah, they don't look invincible.
Nope.
In years past, you kind of feel like it's Chiefs, Ravens, Bills, Bengals if Joe Burrow is healthy. Like that's kind of the cream of the crop of the AFC. But dude, I think
This is a great comment. Matthew Smith's comment's great.
Yeah.
We're boxing for the right to get Kyler Murray.
Dude, you'd have a lot of Jets fans on your side, man.
That's
But
funny.
dude, I think that's it. Is there anything else that you wanted to cover, dive into here?
Well, thank you for all the support because right now it's like kind of quiet, quiet time with Jets news. Not a lot to talk about. Like Fields gets benched, but we're all kind of like disappointed. Where it's like, all right, Glenn's coming back. There's not really a lot to talk about. So somehow we did an hour and 10 minutes. I have no idea how, but definitely appreciate all the support, man. Because it's not a lot to talk about right now, really.
So there's one quarterback that kind of hit my mind. We'll save it for next week and kind of break it down on your channel. Kirk Cousins.
He's going to be getting an audition right now. He's got the rest of the year to play it out and see. How old is he now?
38 or 37 now, but we'll be 38 next year.
He's got he blew the Jets off how many times already? He blew them off twice, I think, already when he was a free agent.
Yeah, I know there was the whole thing with who was it, McCagnon?
Yep.
Yeah, McCagnon. I don't remember the second time though.
I think there's 2 times they could have got him and he didn't want to come here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not really a big Kirk Cousins guy
Nope.
at this point. After Washington, I liked him a lot back.
Yep.
In his first stint there, he just played like a lot more free. He's kind of like more of a gunslinger. Now he just looks old and
A lot of injuries too. Injuries are kind of built up on him too.
Yeah, he's expensive. I think he has some crazy cap hit. What is it? 57.5 million in 2026 and in 2027.
I'll pass.
All right, yeah, we'll be back on Tyson's channel next week. I will catch you guys later. I appreciate everyone hanging out, tuning in. Trubisky, yeah, I think he's more so a backup at this point, bro.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. I do think Trubisky's better than what we have currently.
He's an upgrade.
Yep. All right, guys. Peace. I'll catch you later.